welcome back to my channel. What I want to share today is how to recognize the signs that something in your body is telling you that you need to make a shift, that it's time to make a change, and that there's something in your environment that needs your attention.
The in-between is uncomfortable. It's that space after letting go of the old, but before the new has arrived.
There have been several moments throughout my life. I talked about this in my previous video where I discussed the 3 awakenings that I've had. And with each of those, there were consistent signs that I was living out of alignment. I invite you to subscribe, hit the like button, and share this with a friend you'd like to go on your alignment journey with. Growing up, my mom had this saying when I was coming to her asking for validation for something that I was feeling. She would say something funny back to me, which was, if it walks like a duck, if it talks like a duck, and it sounds like a duck, it's a damn duck. It is what you think it is. And I would be like, but what if it's not a duck? What if it's just a funny little bird that's different? That mindset is one that I had to shift over time, learning how to trust my own intuition, to validate what I felt and understand how to recognize the signs when my body was trying to tell me something.
Transitions aren't obstacles. They're invitations to step into alignment with who you are becoming.
For a really long time, whether it was in a relationship, in my career, or even in my business, I would feel my intuition calling me to make a change. I would know that there was a shift that needed to happen, but because I was afraid or I couldn't necessarily see that next step, I would stay where I was, even though it was no longer feeling in alignment for me. I thought for a really long time that if I ignored that feeling, that it would just go away. If I just stay consistent, I make the money, I climb the ladder, I find the right relationship, that this feeling will go away. I don't really have to listen to it. And that's not true. It's going to keep appearing to you in your experiences until you actually listen to it. The truth is, I think you already know what it is that you need to do. You're just looking for some type of confirmation or validation. Let this video be your confirmation that whatever it is that you're feeling, you can trust that. The first thing is that nothing's necessarily wrong, but you feel like there's somewhere else you're supposed to be or something else that you're supposed to be doing. You may have things in your life that look great on paper, but even with your external reality looking like it should, because what does that even mean? You have a feeling on the inside that, you know what, something's not right.
For entrepreneurs and leaders, this misalignment often shows up as a resistance to projects, clients, or business models that once worked well, a feeling that you're succeeding externally but disconnected internally, a sense that you're meant for something more, but uncertainty about what that is.
When I quit my job, sold my home, I thought I was crazy. I worked so hard to get these things. Who am I to just throw them away? But I really had to work through that and challenge myself to listen to what I was feeling, regardless of what it looked like on the external. I knew that I could not live my life continuing to feel the way that I did because the calling had gotten so loud, and I knew that if it's this loud now, and it's only been 3 years of having this feeling, imagine how I'm going to feel in 10, 20, 30 years. And I'm big on not living in regret. That's one of my biggest motivators.
Ignoring misalignment only makes the call louder. The longer you wait, the harder it is to ignore.
We live in an energetic world. Our bodies, how we interact with other people, our mindset, our beliefs, and our experiences are all reflections of energy. Your body has an internal guidance system. Whether or not you're able to tap into it depends on a lot of your external circumstances, how you were raised, your environment, the work that you've done on your mind, and if anyone has shown you how to understand your feelings. There really is a science behind what's happening with us as humans, our human experience, how we engage with each other, and even our mindset.
Emotions are frequencies. The more aligned you are, the more ease you feel in transition.
There's not one thing in my life that I've let go of, lost, failed at that didn't catapult me into a new, better, and more aligned version of myself. But I was only able to do that because I made the choice to learn from it, to grow from it and understand, okay, what is this trying to teach me about myself? And go inwards and see it as an opportunity for self-discovery and growth rather than a failure, a setback, or loss. The second thing is that you feel like the advice that people typically give you is just not working for you. You feel like people are trying to guide you on your path. They're telling you to do this, they're telling you to do that, and you feel like you're doing something wrong, but none of the advice is really resonating for you. And that's because you're meant to create your own path. You're not necessarily meant to follow the path that someone else has designed for you.
When it's time to move, the external world will start shifting too. This might look like business slowing down in unexpected ways, doors closing that once opened easily, encounters with new opportunities, mentors, or ideas that spark something in you, or traditional paths no longer resonating with you.
You have to go inward, understand what your body, what your mind, and your spirit is telling you, and then trust that, which is a really hard thing to do because it's scary. It's scary. We just want to hold on to what's familiar, and it's hard to trust the unknown. But this is where your spiritual practices come into play. If you are not grounded in a faith in something higher than you, or you don't have some type of external guidance that can really lead you in your path in a spiritual way, you're going to get swept up, you're going to be confused, you'll have fear, and you'll have doubt. And we all know that those are things that don't take us anywhere that we really want to be.
Surrendering doesn't mean doing nothing. It means making space for clarity to emerge instead of forcing a decision from fear.
The third thing is that really deep down, you know that there's something else that you're supposed to be doing. You know that there's a shift that you need to make, but you're afraid. You're afraid to start over. It feels scary. So you ignore it. And the more that you ignore it, the louder and louder that it gets.
For high-level decision makers, these intuitive nudges can feel like recurring thoughts or intuitive hits about a different direction, a sense of discomfort in your current environment, even if nothing is wrong, or a deep knowing that there's more waiting for you, even if you can't see the full picture.
That's exactly what happened to me until I literally could not ignore it anymore. So we want to trust our intuition, to listen to our internal guidance before we get to that point where I say, either get aligned or get dragged. There's a way to differentiate between your intuition and feeling fear. Your intuition is something inside of you that's telling you what you need to know. And it's really up to you to listen to that, to recognize what you need to then do next.
Your intuition is a roadmap. The more you listen, the clearer your next steps become.
I believe that we all have a path that we're meant to be on, and it's really just a path that's aligned with who you are, what makes you feel good, and sharing your gifts and talents. In my journey, I could feel that something was off. I could feel that it was time for me to make a shift. I was scared to make that leap because I didn't know how to bridge the gap between where I was and where I was trying to go towards this vision that I had in my mind. I was pretty clear on how I wanted to feel in my life. I knew that I wanted freedom. I knew that I wanted to make more money. And I knew that I just wanted to be able to do the things that I loved, like travel and cook and just be surrounded by beauty. I didn't see anyone living that life. Instead of going out and exploring on my own, I stayed stuck. I continued down my path, even though I had an internal calling inside of me telling me that I need to make a shift. I had that feeling for about 3 years before I actually listened to it. This is what we typically do because it's scary. It's not familiar. We don't know what's next. We cling on to what's here, not realizing that is the very thing that's keeping us from the feeling that we actually want. You have to let go of what's no longer serving you so that you can step in a new, better, and more aligned life for you.
Alignment isn't just about making the right moves. It's about having the right insight. That's why the most powerful entrepreneurs and leaders seek spiritual guidance to navigate the unseen.
Your steps are ordered when you have faith and when you trust and you continue down the path that's most aligned for you. Alignment is an ongoing refinement process. It's like a spiral upwards towards your true, most aligned path. You don't need to read another book. You don't need to take another course. You really just need to trust what you already know and then start taking action on that. Clarity comes from action. Clarity does not come from sitting and overthinking, wondering, questioning, doubting, and being fearful. There is a level of clarity that can come to you in stillness, but then it comes to a point where you have to take action. You have to start moving. Otherwise, you're only going to stay at that one step. Your next level, your transition, whatever it is that you're trying to do, the second part of that comes when you actually start taking action and you get forward momentum. That's where you get information, and everything is just data. Every experience that you have, every setback, obstacle, failure, all these things, these words that we hear that put us in shame and doubt and keep us from really following the path that we want. We keep ourselves stuck because we're afraid of having those feelings. But I say choose your heart. It's hard to live a life that doesn't feel good for you, and it's hard to follow a path that's more aligned for you if you're not already on that path. You get to choose your heart. You get to be the co-author and the co-creator of your life and write your story the way that you see fit. Sometimes the answer may be for you to stay where you are. That's where your discernment comes in, to understand what exactly is shifting in me. Maybe it's just a belief. Maybe it's a mindset. Or maybe it's like me, where it's a lot of things at once and there's something internal shifting about who you are and how you're interacting with the world around you. Whatever sign you feel most connected to, or whatever your body is trying to tell you, I think deep down, we always know when it's time for us to make a shift. And we may not know what that next step is, but you know, your body is going to tell you what you need to do. It's just up to you to listen to that and then find the courage, which is not always easy, to really explore that feeling and see where it takes you. And I promise you, it always leads to somewhere better than where you are now. All of these things combined are your body and mind's way of trying to tell you that there's something in your mind, your body, your spirit, your environment that is not aligned with you. And you're being presented with an opportunity to follow that feeling and to make a change so that you can live a better, happier, and more aligned life. You have to find the courage to step into the unknown. And I know this is a very scary place to be. It's like walking in the dark, feeling on the walls, not knowing where you're going or what's ahead of you. But this is where the saying, walk by faith and not by sight, comes in. Everything goes back to your spiritual practice. You have to be grounded and rooted in something and trust that there is something outside of you guiding you wherever it is that you're meant to be. If you're watching this video, I'm pretty sure that you already know exactly what to do, but you just needed a sign that it's okay and that it's time to do that. This is your sign. It is time. Take that next step and shift into the next version of yourself that you want to be.
You're not lost, you're in transition. And this space is where your next chapter is being written.
Thank you so much for watching this video. If it resonated with you, I invite you to subscribe, hit the like button, and share this with a friend you'd like to go on your alignment journey with. In my next video, I'll share how to actually make the shift. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have an amazing day, and I will see you next time. Bye.